Hello and welcome to the Chicago Tribune's Bear Download. I'm Rich Campbell along with the birthday boy, Dan Wiederer. Happy birthday, Dan. Can't believe you're already 50 years old. It's a little embarrassing for you. Gosh. The unkempt hair edition of Bear Download, and what does it mean? Because we got to figure out what Sunday night's 54-11 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles means as the Bears look ahead to Sunday's NFC North Division Championship game at Soldier Field, because Bears are going to have to put this debacle out of their minds quickly and really move forward to a game with everything at stake.
First of all, it was a rough turnaround for you and I trying to get back from Philly after the night game and get back to Hallis Hall for the availability, but it was a rough turnaround for the Bears as well, as they have to sort of put the pieces of this loss behind them. I think it might be easier in a week like this because you're basically facing a division title game, and everything else that's happened this season now is irrelevant. And so you're facing basically a clean slate, so to speak. It's like a playoff game in so many different ways, and I think it allows you to put a loss like that behind you. That said, you have to be very, very honest with yourself about what went wrong in Philadelphia. What went wrong in Philadelphia is what's been going wrong for the last 2.5 months. The Bears cannot stop the run. And Philadelphia put up 54 points because over and over and over again they ran simple running plays. The Bears couldn't be, they couldn't stop them. They weren't in the right spots. They weren't finishing tackles. It was the same things we've talked about for 2.5 months. So if you're going to win this NFC North crown, you're going to have to stop Eddie Lacy. You're going to have to stop the Packers offense that may welcome Aaron Rodgers back. But the good news is you're still alive.
Yeah, we heard from defensive coordinator Mel Tucker just a few minutes ago. It's a rarity for a Monday. It's because of the holiday schedule here at Hallis Hall. And both Tucker and Mark Trestman insisted that the Bears really have to look inward as they move towards the Packers game here, not necessarily focusing on whether Aaron Rodgers is going to play, but the Bears defense has to fix their mistakes. And to your point, Dan, it's about fitting in the right gaps, finishing plays, these problems that we've heard about all year. I mean, Mel Tucker said they counted at least 20 missed tackles in the Eagles game on Sunday night, and you're just not going to win like that. Eddie Lacy led a rushing effort against the Bears back on November 4th of almost 200 yards, and then opponents did start going over 200 yards against them after that. And so the Bears are going to have to be much better if they want a chance to continue their season.
It's not difficult to sort of addle this Bears defense at this point, and multiple people have said that Philadelphia didn't run anything all that complicated. They only have a handful of plays. They just run them from different looks and different formations. Bears couldn't figure it out. They were out of place. They weren't making tackles. This is a problem. It did not help them. Their offense got off to a slow start either. Right. The Bears elected to receive the kickoff, went 3 and out, then gave up a touchdown, then fumbled the ensuing kickoff, gave up another touchdown, another 3 out, another touchdown. All of a sudden it's 21-0. And as an offense, you're sort of playing this game of what Jay Cutler called street ball, where you're just playing catch-up, and you really couldn't get in a rhythm or any sort of, the balance that you like to have as an offense that we've seen throughout the year. And so, again, it's just one of those things. You have to figure out a way to take some lessons from it without dwelling on it too much, because this game Sunday means everything.
Yeah, I think the Bears' defense has established over 16 weeks what they are. But the Bears' offense, yeah, right. But the Bears' offense, when their offensive line gets dominated like they were against Philadelphia on Sunday, the Bears can't win. I mean, we've seen it a couple times this year, most notably, I think, against the Rams and in the home game against Detroit, where the offensive line does not play well. Everything breaks down from there. And so the Bears' offensive line is going to have to stand back up. I mean, the right side of the line in particular was exposed last night. Some individual breakdowns all over the place, really, as Mark Trestman said. But the offensive line is going to have to do a better job. The Bears are going to have to run the ball on what's going to be a cold day on Sunday. And from there, that's where you start to build the momentum. The offense, then by extension, has to compensate for some of these defensive problems.
And that's your hope, is that some of the problems with protection were because you were in an all-out passing situation from the second quarter on. And so Philadelphia really could just send everything they wanted at you. They could bring pressure. They knew you weren't going to be running the ball consistently. And the Bears have to hope that that was a big part of why things broke down. Again, though, they lost some one-on-ones. They missed some blitz pickups. There were a lot of reasons that they gave up the 5 sacks and countless other pressures. And they're going to have to find that balance again and hope to get Matt Forte reestablished early in this game against the Packers.
Yeah, and as the Bears start looking ahead to Sunday's game against the Packers, they would see the Eagles as the example for how to bounce back. We remember the Eagles went to Minnesota and gave up 48 points 2 weeks ago, came back with last night's 54-point effort in a blowout, and that the Bears see the example of how to bounce back, how to move on, take advantage of a big game at home in front of your fans with a lot of energy in a very positive way.
Yeah, and Joe DiCamillo, the special teams coordinator today, was asked whether he was going to do anything a little extra to try and throw some juice in the guys, and he essentially said, if you don't have juice for a home division championship game against the rival Green Bay Packers. You don't belong
Get
there.
out of here.
Yeah, leave Ellis Hall right now. We don't need you around here. That was essentially the message. And so I don't think motivation will be a problem this week. It's whether the execution will come during that 3-hour window late Sunday afternoon now that game has been moved back to the late slot.
Yeah, it should be a fascinating week here at Hallis Hall, and of course in Green Bay, where a lot of us will be monitoring the Aaron Rodgers situation. We'll have coverage of it all week for you at ChicagoTribune.com. And, we'll try to bridge the gap over the holidays, of course. The Bears are not going to practice on Wednesday, Christmas Day. They will have meetings, but there's no media availability on that day. And Mark Trestman's very comfortable with this schedule at this point in the season. In terms of physically practicing, Trestman values more the physical recovery at this point.
Yeah.
It's not as much that as it is the importance of having meetings on Wednesdays.
Yeah, they are who they are at this point. It's time to see what that is on Sunday.
And we are who we are, which is Dan Wiederer, and I'm Rich Campbell.
50-year-old.
That's right. And stay tuned to ChicagoTribune.com for updates and for Bear Download. We'll see you next time.